The new power washer has arrived. It's the Ryobi high flow automotive unit. So it's not the fact that it's high pressure necessarily, but it's high flow rate. It's 1.8 gallon per minute. Most of the portable electric units are 1.2 gallon per minute, but when you're trying to wash your dirt bike, wash your car, whatever it is, apparently higher flow rate is important. That makes sense to me. I also got this one because it's cheap. They're like 150 bucks minus whatever taxes and shipping you're gonna pay. And what else? Oh, it's small. This thing doesn't take up a lot of space. It got good reviews. I can't deal with some gas-powered pressure washer that I have to store somewhere. So I needed something that was going to prevent me from having to spend, 20 bucks, whatever it costs, on pressure washing at the self-serve after I go ride my dirt bike. So I'm going to test this thing out on the bike. I'm going to test it out on my car, and we're going to see how this thing does. But first, we are going to unbox it. So there we go. Oh, and one more thing. I got these quick detach units. This is like sold separately. I'll link them in the description, but they just make getting your hoses off and on a lot easier. So went ahead and bought those. Let's see what's in here. All right, we got, looks pretty neat. It's got manuals. Pretty much never read these. Most stuff I buy is intuitive enough to use. This thing looks like it's for the handgun right there. So it's like, that honestly feels like pretty decent quality. I mean, I don't know, we'll see how it works, but that unit seems fine. I think this is the handle. Yeah, this is the handle for the top. I think we just gotta like screw that on. So put that over here. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Here's the foam cannon. Oh, this is another reason I got this one, because it comes with a foam cannon. Apparently this isn't like the nicest foam cannon in the world, but it works. So we'll test this foam cannon out. We'll see how that thing moves. Here we go. And then what do we got? I think we got, oh, is this the cord, or is this, what is this? Oh no, this is the electrical cord. If I can get this thing out of here. There we go. Oh, we got more of these. What do we got? Yeah, these are the spray nozzles. We got a pretty decent sized electrical cord. It's not like they gave you like, that's pretty nice. They give you something that, I mean, it looks like 25 feet. So that's pretty nice. And then so we got the actual hose. So this is the hose that hooks up to the handle right there. So that'll be cool. And then if I can get this thing out one-handed. So we've got the actual pressure washer unit here. There's the hosing. There's the handle, the spray nozzle that the hosing actually attaches to. Pretty long extension cord. I'm happy about that. Handle, whatever. And then the spray nozzles and a spray extender, along with the good old foam cannon. So I guess that's what we get in the 1.8 GPM automotive pressure unit. Looks pretty cool. Let's test the thing out. Okay, the bike is out of the shed. I've got the whole thing pretty much totally caked with mud from all of yesterday. I was riding at NCMP. I didn't have a chance to wash anything off, so all of this mud is like essentially completely dried on at this point. So I think this is a pretty good test for the power washer. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wash this thing down, and we're going to try the soap cannon. Soap cannon's up there. Already got soap in it, so we'll wash it down. We'll soap it up. We'll see how this thing works. All right. I just wanted to take a second to talk about some of the things that I forgot to mention while I was washing the bike down. The first is that the hose that the spray nozzle connects to is easily kinked. It's just made out of a material, or it's just the diameter of the hose is thin to the point where it really tangles up quite a lot. The other thing, I mean, you can buy other hoses for it, but I just want to let y'all know that the hose that it comes with, you might want to replace just because of the fact that it has this propensity to get tangled up. The other thing, and this is a good thing, is that the unit, the actual pressurizer unit, only turns on when you're depressing the handle. It doesn't run continuously, so you don't get that electric motor sound that's continuously going while the pressure washer is not even in use. That's something I really don't like about a lot of appliances, or things like a shop vac or whatever. It's just constantly making that noise even when you don't really need to be using it. So that's a huge benefit, I think, to the Ryobi pressure washer. I'm going to show you guys a little trick, and I should have done this at the beginning now that I think about it, but when you want to get mud that's like up underneath in the bottom of your bike or up under the fenders, the best way to wash your bike is to take it off the stand how it normally sits. Oops. Oh my God. That was not how that was supposed to go down. Position it on the stand so that the bike sits on this bolt here on the triple clamp. So I move the stand a little bit and then I let it go down. I don't know if you can see that, but the bike is now sitting on that bolt on the triple clamp. It's laying over. The gas is off, so gas isn't going to leak out of it, or at least no more than like what's in the bowl of the carburetor. But now you can see there's all this there's mud that's underneath the bike at the front fender. I got most of it out of the back fender, but there's a ton of mud that's all up in the suspension linkage and the engine case and the pipe. So I'm gonna get that out of there. Might as well get the front tire while I'm at it. All right, let's flip this thing over. Let's do the other side. Oh, this is hard doing by yourself, but Ooh. Here we go. Right. There we go. Whew, man. See, there's all this mud you couldn't get to when it was flipped the other way around. And by the way, if any of you guys are on the fence about buying your own pressure washer, just be aware that it's not going to take this long as long as you don't let the mud or the clay solidify and dry on the bike. I intentionally left it in the shed overnight to make this review. I wanted to wait until it got hard so it actually would give this thing like a real test. But as long as you don't let the clay solidify, it's not going to be as hard to get off. So it's not going to take you as long to wash your bike off as this. Now is as good of a time as ever to test how well the foam cannon works. I just put standard like car soap that I got from, I think you can get from like any AutoZone, but it's not expensive stuff or anything. I think I filled it about 20% of the way full, and then I just filled the rest with water. I see the dudes in the detailing reels, like they'll swing it around like, they're like a cowboy with a twirling a pistol around, but people do crap on these things and they say like this isn't a very good foam cannon. So I guess this will be the test of that. So we'll see how this foam cannon works. Okay, I gotta be honest with you, I don't think that this is that bad of a foam cannon. Now granted, you don't have a lot of like foam. So the foam also does seem, the soap kind of doesn't seem super sudsy. Maybe it looks a little thin. So where do I put this thing down? I don't know. I guess I gotta put it down like right there or something. And usually to really get it to work though, you kind of gotta scrub it. So, man, that clay is like, that clay stain is not coming out even when you scrub it down. I usually don't go like too crazy because you can just like sit here and just OCD clean this thing off for like, you know, to your heart's content. But I'm gonna just do a basic scrub down with this brush. Anywhere that I see like red staining, a little bit on the pipe, go like underside here. I think the hubs kind of get a little dirty. So, there we go. I actually don't think this soap cannon's really half bad, to be honest with you. We'll say, washing your bike off, like, and trying to take it seriously, like really get it clean. It's hard work, man. Like, I went to the gym earlier today, and I don't know, I don't really do a lot of cardio, but this is like getting me kind of like almost gym tired, like between sets. Doing all this spraying, all this wiping. Maybe I need to like work out harder. I don't know. The foam cannon looks like it sprays, but it's not thick foam. That could be due to the type of soap that I'm using, so I don't necessarily want to knock the foam cannon for that. But just keep in mind, like, it's not super like shaving cream foam or anything like the car detailers refer to it. I think that basically does it for the soap. So, whoops. Like it was not all the way in the quick detach. Here we go. Thing I do like about a two-stroke is that it's a lot easier to get on a bike stand than like a big 450. Here we go. I've got a little bit of soap left, so I'm going to try to spray just a little bit more in this engine compartment area. Like, there's still a little bit of mud that the power washer didn't get to, so I'm just going to spray in there, give it one more spray down, and then I think I'll call it good for washing the bike today. I guess the nice part about going to a self-serve car wash before this was that the bike just dried off in the back of the truck, you know. If you've never used SC1, then all you do is, it's like a silicone-based spray. You just spray it on the plastics. You let it sit for about 60 seconds. Spray it on the underside too, because it helps mud come off, like underside of the fenders. If you can do the rims, the wheels if you want to, but I don't think it's totally necessary. They're gonna get dirty right away, but spray down all the plastics, let it sit 60 seconds and then wipe it off, and it kind of gives the plastics this nice shine to them. So don't spray the seat directly at all, because then it'll just make it all slippery when you actually sit on the bike. All right, here we go. And last thing, like I said, try to your best to like spray up under the fenders. Oh, and then one more part. Sometimes I forget these, but the fork guards, they are plastic too. So. Oh, did I get this part? I'll spray it down. I usually just let it sit for a second, and then I grab a microfiber. And if you're gonna get microfibers for like detailing cars and stuff, definitely get the 16 by 16. It's just a much more convenient sort of size to use. Like if it's smaller than 16 by 16, it's just sort of a pain to try to deal with. And then just take your microfiber and just buff the SC1 right here. Let's get the number plate. Oh yeah. The front fender. Here. This part here is kind of harder to get, but just do your best. I almost forgot the gas tank too. Got to buff that. The gas tank is plastic. That's a good point. You don't have to buff the SC1 up underneath the fender. Just leave it as is. It's just like a rough layer to help prevent any mud from sticking. So that's how you detail your bike with SC1. Now that the bike's clean, I just wanted to clarify some things I just didn't remember to talk about when I was doing the wash down and SC1 spray down. So the Ryobi unit to me seemed like it was a great, compact, convenient little unit for dirt bikes and for cars. You're not going to open a pressure washing business with the Ryobi, but if you need something to avoid having to take your bike to the self-serve, or something that's way better than a garden hose for washing your car down, I think the Ryobi 1.8 GPM power washer is definitely the move. It's definitely not as powerful as the power washers that are at the self-serve units that you can go to, but I think it's definitely more than sufficient. It doesn't come off as something that's overpowered to the point where you're going to get a bunch of water inside all your bearings. So I think for the purposes of washing cars, washing motorcycles, it's the perfect amount of pressure and it's enough flow so that you can actually adequately clean your car or your bike down without too much time or energy. Definitely buy the quick detach kit. It saves you a bunch of time. I hate having to screw hoses and whatnot together. So the quick detach kit, it's like $30. I'll put it in the comments description, not the comments. I'll put it in the description section where I bought it off of Amazon, but it seems super high quality. And if you're going to get this, just spend the extra $30 and get the quick detach kit. Since the hose that the unit comes with, just for whatever reason, wants to tangle up on you, I would definitely recommend buying a hose that isn't like an anti-tangle hose. I know that there are hoses made like that for detailing purposes. I'll link one in the comments. I don't know what the name is, but I know for a fact that there are better hoses out there that don't tangle. Maybe I'll buy one in the future, maybe not. I don't know how much they cost. I don't think they're super expensive, but it's definitely something I didn't get that I think would be worth looking into. When I was using the 15-degree nozzle, so that's the most concentrated nozzle that I was using to get some stuck dirt clods like underneath the motorcycle, like on the bottom part of the frame when the bike was turned over on the stand, the pressurizer unit was like stuttering, like it was having difficulty continuously providing pressure and a continuous flow of water to the 15-degree nozzle. And it was unique to the 15-degree nozzle because when I used the 25-degree nozzle and when I used the 40-degree nozzle, I'm pretty sure it's the 40-degree nozzle, that stuttering effect didn't happen. And I know it's not the hose because the hose was tangled using all three. So for whatever reason, the 15-degree nozzle was kind of going, it sounds horrible, but it was kind of, the pressure was going in and out very much so when I was using the 15-degree nozzle, and it was a persistent problem. And a lot of times I would just end up switching to the 25-degree nozzle. But when I would release the trigger and give the unit just a couple, like 1 second break, it would sort of catch up, I guess, and provide pressurized water to the 15-degree nozzle. So I think it's worth bringing up, but just know for whatever reason, when I was using just the 15-degree nozzle, the unit was struggling and sort of sputtering and kind of going in and out. As far as the foam cannon is concerned, it seemed very adequate to me. I didn't play around with putting more soap in it. Like really the only complaint that I had was that the foam cannon put out foam that was not thick enough. It was kind of a thinner, it wasn't that shaving cream foam that all of the auto detailers care so much about. That being said, like I don't think I'm going to spend the $90 to upgrade to like an MJJC foam cannon. Again, I will link one in the description of the video if you want to buy one, but I'm kind of on the side of I think the foam cannon is better than people give it credit for, but that's also coming from the perspective of a dude who's never owned a foam cannon before, so maybe I just don't know what I'm missing out on. I think that the demo that I did for you guys really shows that the Ryobi actually does live up to the hype, and for $150 plus tax, it's absolutely a good deal. Granted, there's some things you should probably invest in, so maybe you're talking more like with a better hose and the quick detach kit and maybe a foam cannon, you're talking like $350. But for what you're getting for $150, it's a pretty good unit. It's more than adequate just for consumer auto motorcycle use. And I'm super glad that I did not drop like $350, $500, $750 on a gas powered pressure washer that was probably going to be overkill, was going to be too much money, me spending money that I didn't have, and me having this thing that just takes up all this space. Like, I really feel like for $150 for something that's this small, the Ryobi is definitely living up to the reputation that it gets. Also, one last thing, I was not paid by Ryobi or Home Depot or whoever to make this. I bought the Ryobi unit with my own money. I bought the quick detach kit with my own money. All of this was totally self-financed. So this was not a paid product advertisement for this company. I just had heard about it. I needed a power washer for my dirt bike. Well, I guess I didn't need one, but I just don't like taking it to the self-serve and paying like $15 every time I go there. but I really wanted a power washer just for convenience. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to spend the money, maybe for people who are on the fence, it's worth making a video to actually demonstrate what this thing can do. So if you're on the fence about a Ryobi 1.8 GPM, pick one up. Just make sure to sign up for the email notification. They're not in stock very often, so don't just think you're going to go to Home Depot and pick one up in person unless you're very, very lucky. So I had to order mine off the internet, but if you're on the fence, absolutely pick one up because I think they're fantastic.